Hey, how's it going, guys? My name is Jackie Fish and welcome back to Mountain Blade to Bannerlord. Today we're going to be diving right back in with the brand new Calradia Expanded Kingdoms mod. This mod goes ahead and adds in 8 new kingdoms as well as expanding the map. If you've never heard of Calradia Expanded, the mod itself, which is kind of like the original, expands the campaign map, adds in a few more settlements, and just overall makes the campaign map look amazing with these small minor details, whether it's, maybe like a ford looking more like a bridge or roads scattered throughout the empire. It looks absolutely amazing, and I will take a look at that as well in this video. But our main focus is going to be on the new one, Calradia Expanded Kingdoms, which, as I said, adds in 8 new kingdoms, replacing and also buffering up the pre-existing ones. There's also new culture groups, so we'll dive into a campaign. I can go ahead and show you that. This mod also allows you to transfer from one settlement to another if it has a dock, so you can now travel the open seas. Unfortunately, there's no animation for that quite yet. Maybe in the future there will be. But basically, you go ahead and just select your destination, and then it will tick down how long it will take you, and then you'll find yourself the other side of the map for a little bit of a price, which is kind of a cool way of doing it. It really is. So yeah, as you can see, there are a ton of cultures now in the game. Unfortunately, at the moment, they all do have a similar kind of buff to their predecessor, I guess. Like, these guys are obviously of Valandians, so they go ahead and get the same bonus as Valandians. However, I'm assuring that this is going to change at some point. This is the first iteration of this mod, so I assume every one of these new culture groups will be getting their own unique bonuses, which will be very exciting. They also all have their own lore. So for example, the Vigir are a mix of Sturgian Northmen and disgruntled Battanians. The cross of cultures have made them strong and hardy. I mean, hell yeah, I would not want to face a mix between Sturgians and Battanians on the field of battle. That is not a good mix. And so yeah, each one of these have their own kind of little lore behind them, which you can go ahead and get behind. Really cool stuff. So if we just dive into the campaign, I'll show you guys these factions on the campaign map, as well as all the other awesome stuff that is in here. Okay, so we are now in the campaign, and you can tell just how beautiful things do look. It's really surprising, just by adding in some simple roads and a few farms here and there, what a big difference you can have on the campaign map. And this is just the basic Calradia Expanded mod, which you can get just for vanilla without the Kingdoms mod, and it just is amazing. I highly recommend anyone who wants to use it uses it, because they just add in these small details like farms and roads, and I believe all the way over here they've added in this massive mountain here with all these stones. Like, it's just like these small little details right here which really kind of bring the campaign map alive, and obviously roads as well. I can't believe the vanilla game doesn't actually have them. I never really noticed that, and it just adds in a lot of flavor here and there and makes the campaign map look really goddamn good. So massive props to the modder who took all his time to do stuff like this, and yeah, it just looks great. It really does. But yeah, we are here for the new Kingdoms Calradia Expanded mod, and as you can see, this is going to be the way of things. I mean, it's going to be really interesting, honestly, because it's going to stop factions, I think, from just absolutely steamrolling, because there's going to be so many more kind of scattered throughout the map, and they can gang up on obviously a pre-existing faction, as well as that all the other factions are much smaller as well, so you'll really see these kind of rise from the ashes type things scattered throughout. And yeah, and each of these do have their own culture groups as well. If you want to go ahead and take a look at the Nordlings, for example, you can read all about them. And as you can see, a lot of the factions, have been redone as well. So Olek is now the leader of Sturgia, as Ragnar has gone over here and he's now reading the Nordlings. They also all have their own, they're not like dramatically different, but they all do have their own units. For example, if we do go to the Nordlings, for example, is it these guys? No, it's not these guys. These guys are the warriors. Where are the Nordlings? For example, we'll just go to the Vigirs, for example. So as you can see, they have got a pretty unique kind of feel to them, obviously new colors, and they've got very much a mix of armor as well, to do with their culture, but they look really cool like that. You can see that these guys are a pretty scary faction, and there are a handful of new armor pieces, but nothing too crazy. It's not like a completely dramatic faction that you would never have seen in the original game. So they've kind of tried to still stick very vanilla-y, but still with some awesome stuff. And yeah, each of these factions factions will have some, an interesting thing to dive into. For example, a faction down here, if we take a look at these guys, these came from the south, fighting in well-organized phalanxes and spearmen. So for example, then if we go to the units for them, we can then see, so they are right here. You can see that they're going to be, leading with a lot of spearmen. They're going to be, fighting, as I said, in them phalanxes. So you can see like heavy spearmen, heavy shields, ready for combat. We don't really have a lot of, in the way of swordsmen or in that way whatsoever. It's just all spears. And these guys are equipped with a spaffer as well. So each of the factions do have their own unique stuff. We'll also go over here and I'll show you guys the new dock mechanic where you can just go ahead and travel the high seas. As I said, unfortunately, they're... Oh God, I'm so sorry. So these are the new manhunter groups. These guys are a bit more heavily armored. You can see their main goal is to hunt down bandits. And yeah, they caught me completely off guard. And yeah, these guys can be pretty nasty, honestly, when they do get stuck in. So their main goal is to hunt down bandits and looters. However, I fall into that category at the beginning of the game, so they also come after me. And they're basically just a bit of a hard challenge, kind of think a bit more like Scum and Villainy, which is obviously a great mod as well. So let's go ahead. I'll just skip ahead. I'll surrender here, and then I'll bring it back to you guys when I'm no longer being chased by the manhunters. Oh my God! Actually, wait, what? I didn't think this was possible. Oh no, because it's when you travel. Yeah, sorry, they're pre-existing. I totally forgot this was a thing in Calradia Expanded. So when you do travel between this, you actually do go into a boat, which is really cool. Yeah, we'll have to go ahead and explore that when the manhunters finally let me go. But yeah, when you escape, so we'll accept the ransom. So when you can actually travel through here, and whenever you do, there's like set paths. It's really cool. But yeah, there's set paths on the campaign map, and you can actually travel between these settlements. You can see right here as well, there's kind of like a fishing line right there. But you don't have any control over it. It's like pre-existing determinations. But you can, for example, you couldn't go from here all the way around to here, or around another port town like this. You'd actually have to kind of go the separate ways. However, you could go from this city. So there's like predetermined routes that you can travel, and that's really cool. And this is kind of, I assume, what's going to be the future of the dock mechanic, where you can just travel between any port city quite easily. But yeah, it looks awesome, really nice stuff, and it'd be kind of cool if they got this working for like a raid for like the Nords or something, and they could go raiding. Because that, now that's in the game, it could be pretty exciting to see kind of your free movement on the seas, but I don't know how the AI would work with that, and that's probably one of the reasons they haven't explored it. But with the dock mechanic, you can just go ahead and click this, sail to another town. For example, I want to go to Vostrum. It's going to take me 2 days, and all my money will accept it. So this will just go ahead, because it's not a pre-existing kind of travel path, it's going to go ahead and just, pass the days, and then I will teleport to that town. And there's obviously a handful of towns that you can go to, but yeah, I'd totally forgotten about when these pre-existing paths where you can just travel, and there you go, boom, all the way over to Vostrum right now. So it's a great way to kind of like fast travel at a cost, and obviously at the time as well, you'll be paying wages, your troops will be eating food and all that stuff. But yeah, that's going to be basically the mod. With the new troops, you've obviously got Calradia Expanded, which just looks absolutely beautiful. I mean, as we were over here as well in this city, it just looks so goddamn good. There's new settlements, there's new factions, and I highly recommend that you guys go out and mess around with this mod. I would recommend starting a new campaign and playing this, because I think you'd be in for a lot of fun adventures. Starting from a lot smaller faction and rising your way up to power could be very good. And I also as well think that this mod is still much better for them situations when you want to forge your own kingdom as well, because there's a lot of smaller kingdoms on the campaign map, which will make your life a lot easier to actually take a castle, especially when you're like that, when you come upon a faction that's maybe down bad, and you can just take off their last settlement after they lose a bunch of territory. It's also really weird as well seeing other AI factions moving around the campaign map, honestly, considering I've been playing so much Bannerlord online. But yeah, that's going to be it for the video. Make sure you go ahead and drop a like and a comment down below. Please let me know if you're going to be using this campaign for your next one. These mods for your next campaign, because I highly recommend it. I'm very tempted to start a brand new campaign with this mod, because I think it'd be really exciting to see us kind of rise from the ashes and get stronger and stronger. And I mean, just look at Calradia Expanded in general. It looks so goddamn good. It really does, with these Imperial roads and everything. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you drop a like and a comment down below. Let me know if there's any mods you want to see on the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one.